The Economic Freedom Fighters leader, Julius Malema, has encouraged young Zimbabweans to fight for their own liberation rather than relying on external help. Malema said this while delivering a public lecture at Rhodes University on Monday on the topic of security and good governance in Africa. Malema said while the Southern African Development Community, SADC, South Africa, and the AU have not been effective in helping Zimbabwe, it is up to the country's youth to rise up and fight for their freedom. Zimbabwe will host the SADC summit later this month. The summit is already facing calls for its relocation due to alleged human rights violations in Zimbabwe. And so joining me to discuss this further is a political analyst, Mankumburero Haruzivwe. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you for doing this with us. Very quickly, because we're pressed for time, what context surrounds Julius Malema's comments about Zimbabweans fighting for their rights? And how does this fit into the current political climate in both South Africa and Zimbabwe?
Yeah, it's a historic kind of inspired move that he made, considering that if one is not free in Africa, then definitely no one's free. And this is not a new phenomenon, considering during the liberation struggle, the ties between the Zipra forces and the Umkhonto we in fighting against apartheid and also colonization in Zimbabwe. So Julius Malema speaking to this attests to the need for people-to-people solidarity across Southern Africa. Because while those SADC heads of states have in the past, formed SADC as a front for regional liberation, now there's need for a new alliance, a new freedom front in Southern Africa to deliver, the initial goals of the liberation struggles. And Julius Malema is doing that very well. And it's something that he has every right to say, because the problems in Zimbabwe are regional problems. Check, there are millions of Zimbabweans in South Africa who are political and economic refugees. There are millions of Zimbabweans, in other African countries, Zambia, Botswana, Mozambique, and everywhere. So problems in Zimbabwe affect the region. And you can see even politics in South Africa, they are now centering even more around issues of immigration. So Julius Malema is within his rights, number one, as a leader in society, leader in the region, Pan-African, and also, as in terms of solidarity with Zimbabweans. Both Zimbabweans have been in solidarity with South Africans during the struggle against apartheid.
Malema's remarks affect the relationship between South Africa and Zimbabwe, especially considering the historical ties between the two countries.
If they are to affect, to understand it, if they are to affect the relations between South Africa and Zimbabwe, it will be in the same way when the Zipra forces were assisting and were in solidarity with Umkhonto we. Of course, it affected the relationship between the apartheid government back then and the Zimbabwean government. And it's something that we do not worry about as young Zimbabweans who are reeling under the total effects of dictatorship. It's a welcome move because it enhances solidarity, and solidarity is the language of the oppressed. So if it is to affect relations, to affect in the same way the apartheid government and of course the region in France, they were in solidarity, but that did not stop the people of South Africa and people of Zimbabwe from uniting, but then fight for the liberation.
Well, I must say thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you for doing this with us.
Thank you.